Welcome to the Art Piece Experiment. We're your hosts, two artists and friends. I'm Tasha.
And I'm Brianna.
At the end of 2024, we decided we wanted to cultivate more safety, peace, love, alignment, and excitement through our art and our art practices.
So here we are sharing our journey with you, and we're so excited you're here. We hope you enjoy our conversations. They're honest, raw, just two friends talking to each other about the realities of life and creativity. We're so excited for you to join us and be along with us for the journey.
Week 4.
We made it! A whole month.
Yay, us. And now we get a treat.
We do.
We are going to be having a writing retreat. Who even am I?
I mean, that would be fun too.
I have too many writing friends. No, we're having an artist retreat.
An artist retreat because we're artists. But a writing
put me
retreat.
In charge?
You did. No. Just kidding.
You're fired.
Yeah. That would be fun too. If you want to do a writing retreat, I'm down.
We were just having a conversation about
writing.
So sorry. Anyways, we are having an artist retreat. It's going to be spring break.
Yep.
Kids are going to be gone on special trips of their own, and we're having little mini staycations and decided to use it for fun.
Yeah, so this week I have been preparing for what I'm going to do this upcoming week, and a lot of it revolved around cleaning my office, cleaning my space.
It was quite the project.
It was a journey. we went on it together, and it was good.
It was we learned about each other.
We did.
Which is kind of fun.
We did. It was kind of fun. We learned about ourselves, and we learned about each other, and kind of what we like and what helps us function, in the creative juices. And
ooh, don't ever say that again.
Sorry. I regretted it as soon as it came out of my mouth. The creative flow, is that better?
Yes, much better.
Yeah. So do you want to share a little bit about that?
About getting your space ready, or
about what we learned about each other and ourselves?
Oh yes, we're like opposites. The peace sign with the
yin and yang.
Yes, the yin and yang. We're like that.
Yeah.
As far as what we want our creative spaces to be versus what the end product turns out to be.
Yeah. So we found out through much trial and error that I like my desk to be full of all of my knickknacks and a little bit cluttered, and
so many things.
Just full of all of my things that inspire me and bring memories with it and are meaningful to me. I really love it.
You're a maximalist queen.
For my desk, yes. And for my artwork, it's wide open, plain spaces.
Yeah, big, wide open landscapes
that just don't have a lot of clutter in them, which is really interesting. And then for you,
don't put stuff on my desk, please.
Yeah.
let it be open. I need room for what I'm working on, and if anything else is there, it gets the angry eye.
The angry eyes.
How dare you be in here with me while I'm working, you notebook or whatever it is. Get out. Yeah. Yes, I have 2 desks that are they're just like IKEA, white desks that are in this corner that, like this L shape, creating this L shape, and I like them to just be blank and open, which not very aesthetic, not great that way, but it helps clear my mind. It helps put me in the space of like I am free to just create whatever it is I want to create, and then I create these very detailed little
Tiny little moments.
tiny little moments um, that are sometimes cluttered and detailed and
Yeah, and also, yeah, maximalist patterns and
hmm
like all the
yes, my
details, all the
pattern
little
creating.
things in there.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that was a kind of a fun realization where it was just like, oh, we are very opposite in this.
Very opposite. Yeah, it was really fun. It was really fun, and it was funny because I was helping Brianna get her space ready
Hmm.
for the retreat because she had some other projects and just like home renovation stuff happening in there that was like we had to clear it out of the office
Yeah,
and
yeah.
get it ready and
Super helpful. She was really helpful.
and she was complaining to me previous to this of like my space is so like there's so much stuff that I just can't get my like I can't get the work done, and it was like it was very much a
Yeah,
blocking
yeah.
you. And so I get in there and I'm like, okay. And I start just clearing off the desk, and Brianna starts panicking.
It's like,
What
uh,
are you doing? But to me, it was like, okay, you need space to work.
yeah.
So here you go. Like, here's
Here's some
some space.
space.
Like, get your desk ready. And then it provided a way to dust, which was great. We got
Yes,
some dusting done,
it was good.
and then we put everything back.
We did. We rearranged it into a new, nice, beautiful way, and then I was like, I don't like it.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
can't work in this space because it felt too empty and like not me, which was it was
Uh,
just so weird.
which
And
is funny because
so,
putting what we did put back was like, to me, was like, this is a lot of
yeah.
stuff.
Right. And I was like, it's so empty.
And it's like, I don't know how to even respond to that.
So, yeah, we ended up putting most of the things back. I mean, we
Yeah,
did take out some of the things that didn't actually really feel good that were in there, and that didn't
yeah.
really need to be in there
Hmm.
and that I didn't like, but just had been there. And so that was good to get those things out. But it ended up
Yeah.
not being a huge difference and not a huge change, just kind of tidying up a little bit and
Mm.
and dusting.
And dusting. The dusting was good.
That was helpful.
You don't
And
want dust in
so
your paintings.
yeah, no, not a good mix. So that was good. And
She's not a dirty person. Just,
it
like
was
just
very
clarify
like
that. It was
dust.
just, like dusting is one of those things that needs to happen regularly. It was just that. Just to clarify here.
Thank you. Appreciate that.
She's not like I, I'm just thinking of like you go into like the beast's castle and like his room and it's just like
Poof.
dust. Like you like step and
Cobwebs.
like dust poofs up. Like no.
It was like,
That was not the
yeah,
situation.
thank you. Appreciate that. Yeah, so we did that and yeah, did I think that I think that opened up the lane for some mental clarifying and decluttering around blocks around what's been keeping me from wanting to make art, wanting to sit
Mm,
down and actually do the thing.
yeah.
And that was really helpful too. I did some journaling about that and realized that my art is really connected to my moods and my emotions and like the things that I'm processing, which I feel like
Mm,
is just universal, like a human thing. We kind of process through that way, our
it's a way of
creativity.
expressing.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And so realizing that was so connected and that I there are things that I've been wanting to not look at and not deal with and not,
Mm,
sit with and face. And so
right.
I think that's been a big block, which was really helpful to kind of recognize and see and be able to face.
Yeah, that's huge.
Yeah.
I mean, that is huge. And I feel like it's so relatable. E- I'm not, I don't know that everyone necessarily gets to the point that they're thinking about it that way.
Mm.
It's like, you want to create, but you're just not always sure why. And we get these blocks, and sometimes it's, physical, and sometimes it's emotional, and,
Yeah.
different things going on, and kind of get to a point of like beating ourselves up that we didn't do that thing that we've been dreaming about doing or
Mm.
wanting to do, and we're not
Right.
entirely sure why, but we don't always just like break it down sometimes into those little steps of like, maybe you need to make some space on your desk, or
Mm-hmm.
on your wherever it is, your sewing table,
Mm-hmm.
or
Yeah.
for me,
Kitchen counters.
yeah, kitchen counters, or like just like making that little like space for yourself,
Mm.
whether it is in that physical space, or that emotional,
Mental
mental,
space. Yeah.
yeah, space where it's like you just get kind of real with yourself, or like just take those first few steps forward.
Mm.
um I mean, that's sometimes totally necessary.
Yeah.
Like there's sometimes some prep work
Right.
to, getting to that creative freedom.
Yeah, being able to actually get into that zone and actually take the steps
Mm-hmm.
forward. There's I feel like that's a lesson that we have been learning over the past several years of um or at least I'll speak for myself. I don't
We're
know if I
not
can
quick studies, just learn it over and over again.
Yep. But like speaking for myself, I know that's something that I have really struggled with is like I've wanted to do, I wanted this to be an artist and to sell my artwork and like to really have like that creative outlet and to be consistent and have a creative practice for so many years,
Mm,
so many years, and still struggling to make it actually happen.
yeah.
And I mean, I'm doing it more than I ever have, but it still feels like a struggle in a lot of ways. And a lot of days, are hard, or I don't want to do it, or I don't know, there's like some reason.
Mm,
And so it definitely takes time um to uh unravel all of that
yeah.
and to come to recognize it and be able to rewire and retrain your brain and
Mm,
and your nervous system to feel like it's safe.
yeah.
And I think that was really the whole point of this experiment that we are
Yeah.
doing, is that we wanted to figure out how to make it feel safe and to make it feel joyful,
Mm,
and um, to retrain our nervous system and our brains in that way, and what works for us specifically, like having a cluttered desk versus not a cluttered desk.
right.
Like
Right.
how do we create that atmosphere, physically, and then how do we create that atmosphere mentally, right? What are the
Mm,
ways that work for us specifically? And so that's really what this whole thing is about. And I feel like even though I didn't actually draw this last week or make any art, I feel like it was still such a huge win in the whole theme of the experiment, because
yeah. I mean, you still
it was a huge, discovery,
took
right?
steps
Yeah.
toward it, and, in healing and
Mm.
growth, which is so powerful. And, like both of us, we grew up um kind of being taught that like expressing ourselves was either, not safe, or not,
Mm.
um like there wasn't always a full openness to that.
Mhm. Yeah.
And sometimes that translates, like art is expression.
Mm.
And so when you're told like you have to like kind of hold in and suppress parts of yourself that way, like it translates to other
Yeah.
areas of your
Right.
life. And
Or only do it in a certain way, or
yeah,
perfectionism. Ugh.
yeah, which I know a lot of women especially
Mhm.
relate to that.
Mhm.
um and I feel like it's a lot of the times. Well, okay, maybe it's just because talked to a lot of women. I don't know. I talk to a lot of men too, but it. There is that kind of holding yourself in, like holding
Yeah.
yourself back from um I don't know, like sharing those beautiful parts of yourself and like
Mm.
that expression because we're so busy like guilting ourselves into
Mm.
all the other responsibilities or things that we have to take care of or people that we have to take
Yeah.
care of. And
Expectations,
yeah,
roles. Yeah.
and then this idea of like us expressing and beautifying and all of that is just selfish.
Mm.
And I think that's part of the prep work is letting that go and figuring out how to move on from that
Mm-hmm.
and creating that space for yourself of like, no, like what I'm doing, in painting or singing or baking or, whatever it is, it's like it's making the world better
Mm.
and it's blessing the people around you. And I feel like I talk about this every time, but it's so important. And part of that is because I have, so many friends throughout my life at different stages. These wonderful women with so much creativity
Mm-hmm.
inside them, and they're just holding it in
Mm.
and not allowing themselves the space
Yeah.
to uh, let that free.
Mm.
So, ugh.
I know. I just love that so much. It's something that I'm still very much learning.
Hmm.
And it's hard to unlearn all of that
Yeah.
because it's so inundated in like everything that we are around, our whole culture, right?
Yeah. Hmm.
Doesn't value creativity just for creativity's sake. There has to be some sort of external reason,
Yeah.
right? And so
Yeah.
just expressing yourself just to express yourself is not universally accepted or valued, right?
Right.
And so it's really hard to, I think, even recognize all of the ways that we feel that. And I think that's
Hmm.
just an ongoing journey. I think it's I don't know that it's you have arrived yet. It's just
Oh,
like it's
no.
like it's going to be continuing on probably forever. And so
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
it's hard to recognize that. And I think
Mm.
beginning to recognize that is a feat in and of itself.
Hmm.
And then coming to the next step, which is letting that go.
Yeah,
Oof, that's a hard one too,
it
because
is.
that's really tied into so many things, self-worth, like uh, perfectionism. We bring that up all the time, but like um, worrying about what others think, people pleasing, and
Mm.
expectations, and
Mm.
um, just all the things with the nervous system and feeling that sense of safety and needing your tribe to like you and like all of that
Mhm.
stuff. It goes so deep,
So deep.
so deep. It's not as simple as just you know signing up for a dance class because you want to learn how to dance and you're 50 years old. Like it's not like
Right.
it's not always as easy as like I'm just going to do it because I want to.
It always feels like things like that have to be justified.
Yeah,
Like this
right.
is a frivolous thing that I want to do. I have to justify it. I have to justify spending money on it. I have to justify putting my time into it.
Mm.
And often,
Why I like it, like
yeah,
even,
yeah, because I mean, just think about conversations you've had with like anybody that you know, especially women. Okay,
right.
let's be real here, especially women who do like indulge.
Yeah.
I say
Yeah.
indulge, and I don't actually mean it that way, but like
But that's how it's
that's
seen,
how it
right?
seems. Is like they indulge in that, and they have to tell a story
Mm.
justifying it
Mhm.
almost every single time, and it can't always just be because I wanted to, because it's
Because it's
because it's
fun.
fun.
Because it lights me up.
Yeah, it makes me
right?
feel more
There's just
alive
so much
and
judgment surrounding those kind of things.
yeah, yeah, because I'm thriving.
Mm.
This thing helps me thrive.
Mm. What if we just lived our lives in a way that we did, that we thrived instead of just survived? What would that look like if
Mm,
every single person decided that they wanted to thrive in life?
yeah. I mean, that's what got me back into doing art
Mm-hmm.
is when I became a mom
Mm.
and I was holding this sweet, perfect little person and I just looked at her and just felt so much love and possibility
Mm.
and was so excited to meet whoever she turned out to be. Like there's just so much excitement and love there, and then realizing that I didn't hold that for myself,
Mm.
and realizing that I was not the person I wanted to be as far as an example
Mm.
for her,
Mm-hmm.
because
Yeah.
I wasn't living my truth. I wasn't living being myself
Mm.
and my full expression and all of that. And it was like, oh, I'm going to start sketching again,
Mm.
which to some people might sound really silly, but that is such a huge part of who I am.
Yeah.
And I am not living my full self without that.
Yeah.
Like I need to be creative. And I wanted to be that example to my daughter of, you know, living, thriving,
Yeah. Yeah.
thriving and which means, living in alignment with who I am. Um,
Mm.
and yeah, art is a big part of that.
Yeah. Creativity.
Mm,
Yeah. I mean, like we said before, are all, we were created to create. Like creativity is just a part of us, all of
mm-hmm.
us,
Yep.
And what does that look like for you? It looks like different things for different people. And even within the same thing, like you and I both love the like the visual arts,
Right.
but we do it in different ways,
Yeah,
So
very much
even
so.
it's just everyone is so individual and everyone has their own story and their own way of resonating and um connecting with that and with themselves, and and it is worthwhile for
Mm,
every single person to connect with themselves in that way and to express themselves. And what a
yeah.
gift, right? What
What
a
a
gift
gift.
it is that we each have that ability and um that chance to express ourselves and connect in that way, because we
Mm,
connect through creativity.
we do.
We connect through each other's creativity. And that's really what, I think we said this last time, that's what makes life worth living.
Yeah. Yeah.
So why not? You know,
Yeah. Why
why not be
not?
creative and express ourselves and
Take.
cultivate this sense of safety and this
Yeah.
culture of safety around creativity.
Right.
That's it for today, friend. Thanks for spending this time with us. We hope you're leaving with a little more light, a little more peace, and maybe even a nudge to go be creative, just because it brings a little more joy to your life. If anything in this episode spoke to your heart, sparked a thought, or made you smile, we'd love it if you'd follow the show, leave a quick 5-star review, or share it with someone who might need a little creative encouragement too. And remember, your creativity matters. Your voice matters. You matter. We're cheering you on always. Until next time, keep making, keep softening, and keep showing up as your whole beautiful self.